Welcome to Why Should I Invest? Developed by the International Collegiate Angels Network, or ICAN. At ICAN, we believe that campus-born ventures are today's most underappreciated asset class. Each podcast will spotlight a campus-born founder and the venture they're building. I'm going to ask the tough questions that investors would want to ask. Today, we have Professor John Licato from the University of South Florida, and John's working on a really interesting venture. He's been at it for a couple of years. It's called Actualization.ai, and it's an interesting way. I'll let John tell the story. So, John, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Actualization.ai and how you came up with the idea.
Sure. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I'm John Licato. I'm founder and CEO of Actualization.ai. My background is I'm an associate professor of AI at the University of South Florida, currently on sabbatical, based here in Tampa. What we're trying to do is develop tools to help make sure that AI does what it's supposed to. So this is coming from my research over the past decade or so. I teach the natural language processing course. I've done work in sort of the intersection of AI and human reasoning, also in legal reasoning. And as I'm sure, anyone listening knows, in legal reasoning, sometimes the language that's used can introduce certain types of ambiguities, open texturedness, right? And the thing is, in legal reasoning, that's a feature, not a bug. You actually want a little bit of flexibility in how you interpret language. So a lot of my research was in how do we get AI to reason about domains where there could be that kind of ambiguity. And it led to these sort of discoveries about, there are some types of argumentation strategies you can use to actually, get AI to reason in a way that would be considered as close as we can get to correct in the legal space. It's hard to define correctness completely, right? So anyway, it led to this venture where we're trying to use those advances to help make sure AI does what it's supposed to. And the use case is, imagine you have a healthcare chatbot, for example, right? How do you make sure that it's not going to just go off the rails and give treatment advice when it's not supposed to, or violate HIPAA or privacy things, right? If it does, that could be disastrous. So what organizations are looking for is a way to mitigate risk, reduce the liability of using AI. Essentially, how do they get a sort of seal of approval for their AI tools so they can show their product is safe, secure, and reliable? And our tools help them find problems in their AI systems using techniques like automated red teaming, so that the organizations can fix them and have some sort of confidence that it won't misbehave.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept that you brought. I was just about to bring up the red teaming. I remember from the old days of Google search that they had the black hat and white hat types of interventions, and so red teaming. Tell us a little bit more about how that works and how you can automate that process.
Yeah, it's a really powerful tool. Anybody in cybersecurity would instantly recognize that term, red teaming. Essentially, it's whenever you have some system, maybe a software or a black box AI, and it has a very wide range of possible behaviors. It's difficult to impossible to anticipate how it's going to behave in every possible scenario, right? And as AI is becoming more and more widely used and adopted, you can't anticipate every possible interaction that users might have with it. So that's especially problematic with AI because it has probabilistic outputs. You can never fully anticipate what it's going to do. So with red teaming, the basic idea is try to break it. Try to pretend you're a user, pretend you're a hacker, try to get it to behave in a way that it's not supposed to. And the idea behind it is when you get it to misbehave, that's a problem that now you can focus on. You can say, okay, let's now focus how to fix that. Then you try it again, and you just keep going until the red teamers can't find any more problems. The way that we automate that is, I mentioned the stuff that we did in legal reasoning. Well, it turns out that a lot of the ways that you can find loopholes in contracts can also help you find useful cases for red teaming. And so that's essentially how we use our automated reasoning to help with the red teaming process.
Right, right. And I do see that you've been you've been at it for 2 years, you said, and you've got an SBIR phase one. What is the status of that?
Yeah, that's from National Science Foundation. It's great because it allowed us to essentially skip our first, round of funding and focus on developing the technology. That's going to finish in August, I believe. And so we're looking for our next steps right now.
Right. Are you considering a phase two with that one, or do you just want to maybe pursue some funding,
We
some
are
external funding?
Yeah, we are definitely considering a phase two. The great thing about this work is it's so it's so versatile. We're also going to be applying for DoD grants and
Right.
but we don't want to fully rely on it. The National Science Foundation being in a little bit of funding uncertainty as it is, but also we essentially want to take this product commercial. Sorry, turn this off.
Yeah.
So we are releasing a product on Product Hunt actually this Wednesday, June 4th, and and that's why we're also seeking to raise 750K pre-seed because
Right.
yeah, SBIR is great, it's non-dilutive, but it's not,
Yeah.
it's not our only part of the business model.
No, I got that. And you got a little bit of money from University of South Florida too. Tell me about the brag. I don't know, brag. That's an interesting term that they use.
Yeah, it stands for Bull Ring Accelerator Grant.
Ah,
Mascot of
okay.
USF
All right.
is the bull.
Yeah.
So yeah, University of South Florida has been, and Tampa Bay area in general has been really amazingly supportive of faculty entrepreneurship. So we've got this organization, USF Connect, that we're a member of that awarded us this $25,000 brag grant to essentially help us bridge that gap
Yeah.
between,
Great.
you know, between technology that comes from research and your first source of funding, which for us ended up being the SBIR. And it served exactly that purpose. And they've just been tremendously supportive so far.
That's great to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. And you also indicate that you've had some pilot projects that you've done. One is at the Tampa International Airport. Can you talk a little bit about those projects?
Yeah, we have the goal is, with something that is as potentially powerful as what we're developing, which because it's supposed to be able to take any AI and find the problems with it. We want to make sure that it works. So we've been fortunate enough to work with the IT and HR departments at Tampa International Airport. Essentially, we're helping them develop a chat agent, and we're using the Actualization AI technology to help make sure that chat agent doesn't go off and say what it's not supposed to and violate privacy rules and all of those things. And a couple other partnerships with some small businesses. Essentially, anybody that is using generative AI in one of their tools, there's a potential way that it could hallucinate and make mistakes. And
Yeah.
so there's a
Yeah.
really broad use case for this.
That's cool. Yeah, I see you've got Be Better and Eating. So these are like restaurant type organizations or something like that? Or?
Yeah, Be Better Eating is you think of it as a self-help app.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
essentially for dieting, and
I see.
it's for the psychologist, Dr. Sarah Lavelle, really really great. One of our co she's also a member of this incubator here in Tampa Bay area called Embark Collective that we're members of as well, and
Yeah.
yeah, a couple other apps like that have been great partners for us.
Well, very interesting. I see you mentioned your funding, and you're looking for, you said up to $750,000 for the pre-seed. And you also mentioned that you have a pre-money valuation right now of $4.5 million, roughly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And how's that proceeding? Are you having any success in the Tampa area with raising capital?
Yeah, it's been great. So just started this round. So
Uh-huh.
we're still at the stage where we're looking for a primary investor. We've been very focused on making sure that we actually have a product out there that we can show some traction on.
Right.
So that's why we've been pushing to get this released this Wednesday. They're very excited
Wow.
about that.
That is
Um,
exciting. Yeah.
yeah, it's we're gonna have a couple sleepless nights over the next few days, but that's
Yeah.
part of the
Well,
job.
it's part of entrepreneurship. I love that. I love the sleepless nights. Well, tell us about the release then. This is going to be a beta release, or is this a full-on, commercial product?
Yeah, it is going to be a commercial product, but we are doing a bit of a staggered release. So we're
Uh-huh.
putting it on Product Hunt. We're releasing a couple of API keys just to select users,
I see.
and that's because with a product like this, it's the iterations that's most
Yeah.
valuable.
Uh-huh.
We want to get something out there. We want to see how people are using it, and we have some hypotheses about what kinds of users will find most value in this, but that's why we put it out there to
Uh-huh.
test those hypotheses out.
And are these revenue generating opportunities for you?
They are, yeah. It's the basic idea behind this product, which we call hallucinogen. It's short for hallucination generator.
Yeah.
Is that
Well done.
a very common use case is where you have an AI, maybe a chatbot or an agent, that's drawing from documents, maybe PDF documents, policy documents. And a very common use case we've seen is, okay, let's get this AI to answer questions about the contents of the documents.
Uh-huh.
So what we do is we look at those documents and we say, okay, here's some possible hallucinations. So we'll generate a data set for you, and that data set will have inputs that you can give to your AI based on the documents you gave us that we think are most likely to generate hallucinations. So you can use that as a test set. If you take all of those data points that we generate and none of them generate hallucinations, then that's a really good sign that your AI is built really well, that you've got guardrails on it. And we're going to be able to continuously iterate on this, just continually cramming in state-of-the-art AI research and hallucination research.
Okay.
And yeah, it's going to be a revenue generator because we give them a free sample, but the full report they can pay to get that. And
I
our
see.
hope is that it can be sort of a subscription thing because you're going to want to regenerate this data set every so often.
Okay. And is that going to be your primary business model, you think, is kind of a seat license or monthly kind of recurring revenue model?
I think so. I think the subscription model makes most sense, and this is one of the hypotheses we're testing. But we're thinking like antivirus, right?
Right.
You need to scan every month. You don't understand what's being updated in the
Right.
virus definitions. We take care of that, but you know that you have to rescan it every month.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And is there, I mean, what do you think is the total market potential for something like this? I mean, it sounds like this could be a very, very large market.
Yeah, we think so. The subscription, we're seeing at least the 4 billion TAM.
Uh-huh.
The the market for developers who are looking for test sets, we think that's larger actually. So we estimated 10 billion TAM. And there's a third market that we'd like to tap into, which doesn't really exist yet, but it's certifications for AI.
Sure.
They don't exist yet,
Right.
but we want to be in the position where when those certifications come out, they're going to come with a testing, a red teaming component. They're going to
Yeah.
say, if you want to use this AI in healthcare, you better do these rigorous tests on it first. And we think we
Yeah.
can be the ones to provide those tests. So we're trying
Yes.
to position ourselves for that.
Certify the truth, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, make that standard, very difficult to pass test that can
Yeah.
lend itself to certifications.
Very interesting. And just have a few more minutes left, John. Tell me, do you have what does your team look like? I mean, it's you, and I guess some PhD students or something, or
Yeah, that's
what
right.
does your team look like right now?
Yeah, exactly. My lead engineer, Animesh Negoshkar, is my former PhD student. He graduated
Okay.
2 years ago. And then we have two other part-time developers, also, master students with AI background, and we're looking to hire more with this pre-seed raise.
Yeah. And so this product release on Wednesday, we're all rooting for you, by the way. I hope that goes well.
Thank
And
you, thank you.
what else is in the pipeline?
So the next few steps are to continuously iterate on this hallucinogen product.
Okay.
The other major product that we've been developing, we're calling AI Gauntlet, and you can think of it as a set of test suites that are
Uh-huh.
focused on one rule. So you might have the rule, don't give diagnosis advice, right? And then we want to have that as one package where we just have the best testing tools for that specific rule so that
Okay.
anyone developing a healthcare chatbot, for example, can use it.
Okay. So
And
vertical markets kind of approach with the Gauntlet
yeah,
tool. Yeah.
yeah, very, very much focused on it, which actually differentiates us from other, red teaming companies, is
Uh-huh.
that we're focusing on one rule at a time. We want to
Yeah.
be the
Yeah.
best at finding problems and violations of this rule
I see.
and then packaging it up like that.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to tell our investors about your company, about yourself, John, that I might have missed?
Sure, yeah. Just so one common misconception I usually hear whenever I describe it is that I should clarify is, it is AI, which can be a crowded space, and everybody asks, well, what makes you different, right? So we we're drawing from my AI research at the university, which gives us a knowledge advantage. But our competition in this space is not the big AI players like OpenAI and Meta, right? We're not building foundational AI models. We're focusing on those thousands of small and medium businesses that are creating vertical AI-based products. Because every time you introduce a new vertical, the way AI works is you introduce new failure points, new potential hallucinations. So our goal is to be the absolute best at finding those failure points for one specific vertical at a time. So our primary customer segment are those small and medium businesses.
Very interesting. And if people want to learn more about Actualization AI, could you tell us the web address or any other information about how to get in touch with you?
Sure. So that's the website, actualization with a Z .ai. They can reach out to me, John at Actualization AI. And we follow our launch on Wednesday. Or yeah, if you're seeing this after that, follow the product anyway, and feel free to reach out to me for anything.
Yeah, Wednesday, June 4th. Sleepless nights between now and then.
Absolutely.
John, I appreciate your time today. It's a very fascinating venture. Been meeting today with John Licato, University of South Florida. We've been talking about Actualization.ai with a Z, Actualization with a Z. And go check it out. And good luck with the launch on Wednesday. John, thank you very much
Thanks,
for
Tom.
being with us today.
Thank you very much.
For more information about how you can get involved in the ICAN mission, please contact me directly via email at tomdenning@icanhub.net.